Mitchie, a history student, stops Dixon to inquire about the syllabus for Dixon's special honors subject course in the following fall. Dixon claims the papers are in his room, but he has not actually worked out what he will be teaching. Dixon is planning his special subject and to attract a sufficient number of students without taking them from Welch's classes, and in part because he wants to figure out how to ensure that Mitchie does not take the class, and that 3 attractive female students do. Additionally, Dixon is unsure whether he will still be at the college the next fall. Mitchie offers lengthy suggestions about the course, while Dixon avoids the issue to avoid displaying his ignorance. The 2 men part at the foot of College Road and Dixon walks to his room in a boarding house. His fellow tenants are Alfred Beasley, an assistant lecturer in the English department, Bill Atkinson, an insurance salesman, and Evan Johns, a staff member at the college and an oboe player at Professor Welch's concerts. Waiting for Dixon is a letter from Dr. L.S. Catton announcing the acceptance of Dixon's academic article in Catton's new academic journal. Dixon proceeds to deface the photo on the cover of one of Johns's magazines because Johns is a suck-up whom Dixon doesn't like. Beasley comes home and Dixon tells him about the acceptance of his article. Beasley suggests that L.S. Catton's vaguely worded note will not be enough to guarantee Dixon's job security. The 2 men sit down to tea served by Miss Cutler, the housekeeper, and Bill Atkinson comes in. Beasley asks Dixon first if Dixon's article is any good, and then why Dixon decided to take up medieval studies. Dixon is surprised that Beasley would assume that Dixon was taking either the paper or his career seriously. Dixon has become a medievalist because the medieval coursework was easier at his college. Beasley leaves and Dixon asks Atkinson to phone him at the Welch's on Sunday to give Dixon an excuse to leave the get-together early. At this moment, Johns arrives in the room. Dixon is unsure if Johns, a friend of both of the Welches, has overheard the conversation. Johns will be going to the Welches for the weekend as well, but Dixon has resolved to take the bus rather than ride with Johns. Dixon walks to the bus stop feeling optimistic and energized by the business of the city center. He looks forward to giving Margaret a book of verse he's bought for her. The beginning of Chapter 3 marks one of the few explicit references to World War II in Lucky Jim. We learn that Dixon's history student Mitchie commanded a tank troop during the war, while Dixon saw no war action in his post as an Royal Air Force corporal in Western Scotland. These brief details continue the novel's attempt to expose ineffective hierarchies. Dixon seems well aware of the irony that he commands Mitchie in the post-war setting of the college, even though Mitchie held a higher and more dangerous position during the war. Mitchie is the only student we see Dixon interact with in the novel, and the scenes involving Mitchie turn up another comic incongruity. While the studious Mitchie expects that teaching and learning are based on academic concerns, Dixon actually plans his classes around his desire to have 3 pretty female students in his class. The pettiness behind many university decisions is further evidenced throughout the novel. Nothing is straightforward in Dixon's interactions with other students and faculty. When Beasley advises Dixon that Catton's acceptance of Dixon's article is not concrete enough, for example, Dixon immediately wonders whether the advice is sound, or the product of Beasley's disappointment about his own job rejection letter.